Yes, people, what's going on? Another show on the Armoury. Today, it's looking like it's just going to be me, myself, and I, and we are going to be discussing which candidates of the few, in my opinion, that we have to select from that we should be picking to captain Arsenal. We might even do an Arsenal captain and vice captain review of the candidates in our squad. We're going to talk about that on today's show. Let's get into it. Yes, people, my people, what's going on? Big up all the TikTok watchers. Big up everyone tuned in to today's show here on YouTube. It's going to be just me, really. I'll be getting through the comments. So, if you guys have any thoughts on what we're discussing, then, feel free to drop them. But today's subject matter is one and one only. Arsenal's captain for next season. Who is it going to be? A lot of people are saying that Martin Ødegaard is favourite to take up that mantelpiece. And yeah, as a player, he is already captaining Norway, which I believe he's been doing from a very young age. I think as early as 22 or so, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So he is the obvious name on everyone's lips. I think Tierney is also being looked at, with some people maybe suggesting that the availability issues that we're having with him due to injury might prohibit him from being the captain. However, he might be a shoehorn for the vice role. Other than that, options are quite limited. Outsiders that I've heard been touted have been the likes of Ramsdale, Gabriel as well. But this is another thing that I really wanted to discuss. I feel like, kind of raising the floor of the standard of leadership moving forward is something that is very important, I feel, for Arsenal. So before we do get into the show, guys, if you could smash the likes. We obviously need as many likes as possible in order to help the channel grow. We've got 4 people listening so far, and I thank you all for joining. Ødegaard, what's going on, my guy, man? Feel free to jump on as well. We're going to be discussing who the Arsenal captain should be moving forward into next season. So yeah, please smash the likes. All of the people watching on TikTok, feel free to go to the YouTube link that's in my bio and join the YouTube show. I'm going to be a lot more interactive and answering the comments there. It's going to be difficult looking at 2 screens, but let's get into it, man. I think the first thing that I really want to discuss at the moment for me, as someone that grew up pre-Emirates era, people know I'm, 38, so black doesn't crack, so I've been told. But my very first memory of an Arsenal captain is Mr. Arsenal himself, Mr. Tony Adams. And let me just kind of give you an idea of the scope of this man. So every time I go to the Emirates Stadium, yeah, I take the entrance where the Arsenal Stadium is. I never come through the front way, ever. Where the Armoury, the main entrance is, the Tottenham Arms and all of that stuff. I always enter the stadium through the rear side, come over the bridge, because the very first statue that I see when I walk into that stadium is Mr. Arsenal himself, Tony Adams, stood there. The iconic celebration after scoring the 4th goal in our title win against Everton. I walk up to that statue and I stand there minutes on end, just contemplating, quiet in thought. Sometimes I might just put a little kiss on the statue. This was my earliest memory of an Arsenal captain as a child. And in my opinion, it's never been better. In my whole life, my whole experience of Arsenal captains started with this man. And for me, as great as Vieira was, as great as Henry was, as a leader of men, and as a player as well, let's be honest, top class defender, one of our best defenders, you know, in the Premier League era. Captained the club at 17, you know, like stayed at the club throughout his whole career, dedicated his life to furthering Arsenal, you know, won multiple trophies with us, you know, with both Wenger and George Graham. And for me, you know, that's where my bench is set. That's where the standard is for Arsenal captain. It's right up there, you know, and the memories that this man created, you know, during my childhood will stay with me forever. And for me, I feel like there have been major issues with leadership post Vieira. I feel like Henry, great player. Don't get me wrong, but not a natural leader of men. You know, like I see Vieira and Adams. I mean, Vieira, I think he was 22 or something. He was very young as well when he became captain. These guys, you know, obviously captained the club at a very young age. They were born for it, you know. Like, and I just feel, you know, when you look at other captains, you know, since then, you know, Gallas, the situation we had with Xhaka, and I don't want to make this show about digging him out, you know, like, you know, the situations that we've had with captains, the succession of captains after Vieira and Henry, in my opinion, has been very poor. Aubameyang's situation being the latest kind of manifestation of just how poor our situation has been with leaders. And we've got a young squad, and I love that, and it's great. And I feel that we're at this crucial point, this crucial juncture in our journey in naming an established leader, you know, a guy that can really kind of come in and help these youngers progress, give them that direction. You know, and look, Xhaka is a captain. Like, he is in all but name a leader in that squad, but due to the unfortunate situation that happened with him whilst he was captain, and he's not entirely to blame, we have to take some responsibility for that as Arsenal fans. Yes, some performances were poor. Decisions he were making was poor. We get it. You know, we were frustrated as a fan base, but death threats to his family, you know, death threats to his family he was receiving from supposed Arsenal fans. Took it very far, you know, in a situation where his family was growing, you know, new members of the family, young, you know, little babies and stuff. I get how he got frustrated. I'm a man with very short temperament, you know, so I totally get that, you know, but obviously he's in a situation where really it would cause a lot of division if he was to get the armband back. And I think there's a realization of that. So where do we go from here? You know, like, I think, you know, but I'm just going to open up some of the comments quick. CHB, big up, man. Big up yourself, man. Hopefully you're an Arsenal fan, you know, every sport. Hope you're doing well. You can chime in with some of your thoughts. Karen, good to see you as always. Good evening. GunnerKing is in the building. You know this, Brenny, man. Big up all my Arsenal people. Big up everyone in the TikTok chat as well. I can see fans from all different fan bases there. Mike from the Leeds fan base. Mahias from the Man United fan base. You guys feel free to chip in as well. I might even try and look at both your comments. But yes, big up, man. Nice chandelier, man. Yeah, I'm back with my family for a bit. Yeah, so yeah, in the family home for the moment. Mustafa, big up yourself. Must be pleased with the Man United result today against Liverpool. I reiterate, there are no such thing as friendly. So listen, I don't like Man United, and big up the Man United agenda, big up Cop Talk, but fair play. If I had my hat on, I'd be taking it off to you. But yeah, Mr. Silver Fox King, you're so right with Xhaka that fans should also take responsibility. This is the thing, man, myself included. You know, like we get frustrated in the heat of the moment, and I don't think what I'm saying is that we shouldn't voice our frustrations. I think we should be careful in how we frame them. Death threats to someone's family. I don't. No, that's not PC. That's not kosher. And a man will, when you bring a man's family into it, family's everything. Yeah. As much as we love Arsenal and our football club, I'm not expecting one single player to put the club before their own family. Sorry. No. I won't countenance that. That's not. So let's be real. Like, yeah, like there was, you know, Xhaka shouldn't have reacted in the way he did, but there is a degree of mitigation there. And we've got to avoid this situation happening again. So I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Yeah, there's 10 people watching at the moment. First of all, if you guys are watching, please smash the likes. Smash the likes, all 10 of you. I'm not sure if I can check how many people have liked, but it would be nice to see, you know, like for like, man, all of you guys, man. This really helps the channel grow. So, yeah, you know, at the end of the day, I want to hear from you guys in the comments who you think the captaincy should go to. I've put a 2-day poll up on my Twitter, and I might revisit this program in a couple of days, whether or not one's been chosen. Mio, I'm just going to call you Mio for short, in the TikTok comment section, he said Kieran Tierney will be a great captain, but for injury. And yeah, let's talk about Tierney for a bit. Tierney's captain Celtic at a very young age. He's also captain Scotland at international level. I think he has acted up as captain a few times for Arsenal as well, if I'm not mistaken. Great leadership credentials. You know, when you go to matches and you sit on the side where he's playing, you can see he's very vocal. For me, the credentials I like in a captain are ones that are vocal. You know, that do speak their mind, that are able to marshal and dictate to other players where they should be, where they shouldn't be, what they shouldn't be doing. I feel like the communication part of being a captain is key. So for me, he ticks those boxes. But I have to say, yeah, I agree with Raps here. Would say Tierney, and I think Mio said a similar thing. You know, if he's not going to be available for a number of the 38 games you're going to be playing in the season, then it's not a good look, you know, to have your mainstay captain being in and out of the squad. And it's such a shame, because I think if it wasn't for that alone, then it wouldn't even be a conversation. You know, and I think a lot of people are saying Ødegaard or maybe even Ramsdale. Ramsdale's someone else that I think ticks that criteria of being very vocal and open and communicative, like really kind of directs and dictates where he wants defenders to be in front of him. And I think that's really helped us with our defensive organization and our shape, as well as his command of his area, you know, the distribution and the shot stopping as well. Andy, a Liverpool fan here, big up the Liverpool Massive, is saying Tierney captain, Ødegaard vice captain. I mean, what we wouldn't do for a Van Dijk, eh? You know. But yeah, like I think it's you know, I think that would be, I think the natural choices would be, you know, kind of Ødegaard and Tierney, one as vice, one as a normal captain. But yeah, I think, you know, just getting through some of the comments here, Ødegaard for me seems the logical choice. If Tierney could stay fit, then I'd say him. But based on that, it's 100% Ødegaard. I think that really is, you know, sort of the consensus that a lot of the fan base are going with. Michael, big up yourself. Great to see you here as always. Big up, bro. Agree with captains. Wenger to blame with a bit of that, as he used to keep players sweet and stay at the club, and not really look at a proper leader. And that, yeah, that's something we've got to, you know, sort of change going forward, for sure, no doubt. But yeah, I mean, you know, Mustafa, Man United fan, he said a similar thing. And look, I think Man United have got a similar dilemma at the moment. You know, and I'm sure they'll be discussing that on the Man United agenda. Big those guys up. If you've not given them a follow, Mustafa, please do so. They're affiliated with us as well. But it's interesting to see that, you know, there's similar discussions about Maguire and his suitability. You know, obviously our captain's just left, so there's no issue of removing the captaincy from someone. But it's going to be interesting. I think it's the right call to keep Maguire in for the moment. But yeah, you know, I think availability has to be a big part of our next captain. Gabriel Jesus, captain. That's a bit of a left field one. Only player with a winning mentality. Well, let's be real. I mean, he's won. I think 14 trophies, 4 league titles with Man City. He's also won a Copa America with Brazil, as well as the Olympics with Brazil. He would definitely bring in that winning mentality. At 25, he's on the older end of the scale of experience for players in the current Arsenal squad. Yeah, I think like his grasp of English, given that he's been here for a few years, is probably good enough. 2 things for me. For me, captains, I prefer them to be central midfielders and central defenders. The reason I say this, they're in the middle of everything. They're at the midst of everything. They're at the core of, you know, like centre backs for me are the most preferred. The players in front of them. All of the players that they're marshalling and dictating to are in front of them. They don't have to turn back to bark orders at anyone except the goalkeeper. So I've always favoured centre back captains for this reason. I feel they're the best positioned to be able to control and dictate to players what they need to be doing. Strikers, I favour least for this reason. And also, with someone who's new to the club, I feel at a club like Arsenal, you should have to earn your stripes to wear the armband for this great football club. I mean, like if you think Maguire's situation, he came in very early, got the armband. I'm not making this a slander session about Man United, but it's just an observation. You know, like looking at the situation now, where his ability to lead is being called into question. I feel like there needs to be a bar where like you have to hit this as an Arsenal player. Like I don't want to factor in your achievements at another club. I want to factor in your assessments within our football club first before you get handed the keys to the city. You know, that makes sense. So for me, that would work against Gabriel Jesus, but I can definitely understand the logic. There are other areas I think that make him a good choice for the future, maybe, and maybe even as a vice, where he is brought in on a trial basis, you know, to evaluate whether that's something he could do moving forward in the future. Cedric for captain. That's a really strange one. I mean, is this guy going to get the game time? Captain for me has got to be a starter, and he's not starting over Tomiyasu. Not for me, sorry. But yeah, one touch. We got one touch. Nigerman in the building. Our African connection. Yeah, from one West African brother to another. It's great to see you here. Let's see what you got to say on the situation. It has to be Ødegaard, which is annoying about our squad. We missed the chance to sign leaders last summer, who would have been in the running for captaincy. Ramsdale is an option, but may go to his head. I think it's a bit early for Ramsdale at the moment as well. Came in, started great. I think when he returned from injury, it's been a bit of dip in form, and I think he's still young. And I think for a goalkeeper, relative to an attacking midfielder, there's a lot more pressure. Like you make a mistake in that area, you have a bad game. It's much more telling than for an attacking midfielder. I don't think Ramsdale needs the pressure of captaining the club at the same time as trying to develop and complete his development as a goalkeeper at an exceptionally young age. I think that's a bit too much of a burden. But I think definitely for the future, he could definitely have the credentials to be a great leader for Arsenal. But right now, I think it's a bit early for him. But I definitely think maybe if we look at a group as well, because that's what Arteta's done before, and previous managers where they've called it a committee where there's 4 or 5. I would definitely put him in that group of 4 or 5 players. But for the immediate captain and vice captain, maybe not. But yeah, I definitely think he should be amongst maybe a committee or a leadership group. Availability has to be key, man. For me, if you're going to captain this club, you've got to be playing as close to 38 games in a season. So yeah, definitely agree with that. Mustafa, bigging up One Touch as well. Gonna remind everyone again, smash the likes, people. If you are in the TikTok comment section and you want your comments to be translated into the show, there's a chance I might miss these. But if you come out of this live here and go to the YouTube link in my bio, you'll be able to join the show. Please subscribe, like, leave a comment at the end of the video. Everyone at the Armoury channel is going to work towards getting back to those, but we continue. But yes, the Joker is in the building. What's going on, man? We are back, and we got some of the Man United fans bringing the gas, bringing the noise. We like to see it, man. You guys are in buoyant spirits. To be honest, I think Liverpool needed it. You know, certain Liverpool fans have been sending for Jesus, you know, telling us that we've been getting too gassed about getting Jesus, as if they haven't been acting like Nunes isn't the best thing since sliced bread based on one good season in a top European league. I find that ironic. So fair play to you lot. You know, you kind of humbled them a bit to the end. Well, that open goal that Nunes missed. But anyway, I'm going to leave that to the Man United agenda to tend to, yeah? Back to the subject matter at hand, yeah? Gumza, what's going on? I want to hear your thoughts, yeah? The master tactician is in the building. I want to hear what you got to say, yeah? Who are you backing, yeah, to take the armband? For me, I feel this is like one of the most important decisions as an Arsenal, as Arsenal Football Club, who we are appointing for our next captain. Given the last situation with Oba and Xhaka, how much trouble shrouded those guys both left through the back door as captains. We've got to get this one right. We've got to get this one right. You know, we've got to stop making ourselves a meme when it comes to appointing captains, and it's very important for a young squad to have the right leadership in place, both on and off the pitch. So I want to hear your thoughts, guys, in the TikTok comment section. I want to hear your thoughts. But if you tune in to the YouTube link in my bio, you'll get your comments read out here. So yeah, I mean, just looking, Tierney as El captain, says Gumza. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, for me, it is looking like at large that Tierney is probably one of the favoured and preferred choices with Ødegaard. Availability must be a concern. Do people think? Because the interesting thing is, I see us trying to address this issue, right? Because, okay, Sambi Lokonga isn't immediately impacting our first team squad, but he was a captain of Anderlecht at 20. You look at Tierney. He's captained, at a young age. Celtic, a massive club. Arsenal and Scotland, his national team. You look at the players that we're bringing in now. We're bringing in players that have had experience of captaincy. You're looking at players we're linked with. I think, Tielemans, I believe, has had experience of captaincy at Anderlecht as well. I think it is a problem that we are trying to address in bringing in players that do have leadership credentials into the squad. Do people think we should look to the market for a leader? Kind of double up on some of the transfer market needs that we have, based on the deficiencies in our squad. Someone that can come in and be a captain. Do some people see that as a risky strategy? For reasons that I mentioned. Personally, I think that there should be a bar, you know, at least a 6 to 8 month period, maybe even a season, at least, where you're a player, you've been vetted, bedded in, you kind of been steeped in the ethos and the traditions of the football club before you even get a sniff at that armband. So yeah, I mean, someone here, Galaxy Eyes, is asking if I'm boys with name for United. Of course, man. We banter each other, bro, but we're in DMs all the time. It's not that deep, man. We're boys, man. He's a fellow British Asian, yeah. So from one British Asian to another, I don't care who you support. It's all love. But we have banter, and we're gonna continue that throughout next season. Injury-prone Gumza. Listen, I used to play football with this brother, and I can tell you, he was a baller, bro. He was a baller. Yeah. Now, obviously, I had the pace on him and all that. He's got 2-2 strength, though. I can't lie, yeah. You know, he could put a crunching tackle in, bro. He knew where he was going and stuff. Listen, man, I'm not sure what his injury record's like, and I'm going to be checking him next week now that we're back in the same hometown. So stay tuned for that as well. Jesus has a poetic style of play as a striker, and he sure has proved himself. I wouldn't say captain just yet. He's only just joined, so it may be a tad overwhelming to the lad to take it this early. I agree. I think that's facts, man. I think, yeah, like when players are looking to settle, it's a huge responsibility to come in and take the armband of any club. The third biggest club in England. Yeah, I said it, Chelsea fans. The third biggest club in England. To take the armband of that kind of club, I mean, you know, Liverpool, United, Arsenal, Chelsea, City. I'm even going to say Spurs. Captain in these big six clubs, man. It's no joke. You know, like the fans are not forgiving. You know, your career and your esteem at that club can be made or broken in seconds, you know. And we've seen this, you know, like with the way the fan base is at the moment, you know, how starved of success we've been, of the top honours, and the expectations that come with that. It can definitely be tough, man, for sure, man. But yeah, Bellerin is staying. Would you want him to regain the captaincy? I don't see Bellerin staying. Now, look, what we need to understand here is we see in the press a lot, you know, like there's a lot of the PR spin that takes place. If I want to sell something, if I want to sell this house, yeah, and I make it known that I'm in a hurry to sell this house, you know, that immediately drives down the value of the house, yeah, to any interested buyer. So what do? Might put it on the market. I'm not going to make it known that I'm in a rush to sell if I want to maximize the fee, yeah, that I'm going to receive. Managers will always come out and say, in Ten Hag's case, Maguire's my captain for the moment, this, that, and the other. He's got other problems to solve, yeah. You know, Ronaldo's not for sale. You know, like Bellerin's not for sale, but that's only been done to protect the value of the player. Bellerin very much wants to leave. He's very much not really part of our plans, and you know, it's sad. You know, the career-changing, career-defining injury that he received those years ago against Chelsea has never been the same since. He had a successful season at Betis. Went back there, helped them win silverware. His family, himself, they're all very much Betis fans. So he intends to return there. They are struggling to match and evaluate, you know, the valuation that we have for the player. So there are many other clubs in Spain that are looking into bringing in Bellerin. So I very much see him being moved on closer towards the end of the window. If he stayed, the only way I could see him really captaining the club would be if he starts. And again, I don't see him doing that. Sorry, guys. I don't see him doing that game in, game out over a fit Tomiyasu. For me, a captain has to be a nailed on first team 11 starter, unequivocally, without question. Bellerin's not that guy for me. So, yeah, I would give that one a no, personally. Yeah, well, I mean, Gums has backed it up there. I think that's a bit harsh, saying he shouldn't get a squad number, but I do see him being moved on. Wow, the Armoury guys have not taken too kindly for that, man. But yeah, man, look, I get what you're saying. United Loader, thanks for the gifts in the TikTok. Guys, if you are new in the TikTok, go to the YouTube link in my bio. Hit go to subscribe, like. I'm obviously doing the show on the YouTube. I'm trying to get to the comments there, but I'm more responsive to the YouTube comments. So if you head over there, I'm getting through all the comments. I'm probably going to be on for another 20-25 minutes or so. But yeah, Mohammed, I think this is an excellent point. Your team is still very young. What has Arteta done in the transfer market to change this? Yeah, in terms of what he's done in the market at the moment to change that, I would say Jesus and Turner. I think Turner's 27, backup goalkeeper. So in terms of impacting the first 11, that hasn't really done very much. But what that has done for a younger Ramsdale has given him someone older to pull off experience-wise. He's a fully fledged international for the USA. Obviously his experience in Europe is non-existent. But as a keeper, he's more experienced. And as part of a defensive unit, he has raised the age profile average in himself, which I think is good for the dressing room. Looking at Gabriel Jesus, it's a similar thing. ESR 21, Saka 20, Martinelli 20, Ødegaard 23. Those four for me, they encapsulate our future. I see these guys as the jewels in the Nile of Arsenal Football Club. So when you look at someone like Jesus coming in at 25, it might only be 2 years, but what he's done what he had done by the age of 23 superseded what Ødegaard had done at 23. Yeah. So those 2 years difference to Ødegaard are massive, and when you look at the attacking unit, he's raised the age profile in it, but also the experience level, and he's brought in that winning mentality that he's had at club and international level because he's won at both. So 100%, it's those two players. I mean, Marquinhos 19, Vieira 22, so not a great deal there. But I do think these two players that I'm mentioning, Turner for our backline and Jesus for our front line, them being older than the better players in those units of our team, that makes a difference. And I think the players that we're looking at now, Paqueta, 24, 25, Kante, I've been seeing links to him, he's 31. If you look at the players that we're linked with, Gnabry, 26 years old. If you look at Martinez, he was 24, soon to be 25. All right, we might miss out on that transfer. Grimaldo, 26 years old. You can see the players that we are looking at now. Last season, it was the under 23 bracket. Now, you're seeing the bracket being closed off at 25. And I think if we bring in Tielemans, again, 25. So he's looking at each unit, attacking third, mid third, defensive third. He's looking at raising the age profile incrementally to that 25 and above age bracket in each of those blocks. So you have almost an established hierarchy of leadership through that age and experience throughout the team, almost to reinforce the spine that was created with the 6 players that we signed last season. So I hope that answers your question. I think he's done so with those 2 players, but obviously there's a lot more to do with the next 3-4 players, hopefully, that we can bring in. He's really got to concentrate, for me. I totally agree with you in raising the age profile in each third, defensive third, mid third, final and attacking third, as well as bringing in quality you know, to each of those areas? That's a great question, though. And guys, keep those coming. Tielemans, Savic, or Paqueta? Milinkovic-Savic as well, just to tie in with the previous question. He's 27 years old, and he's got a wealth of experience, you know, at club and international level. So you can definitely see a concerted effort to raise the age profile with the coming signings that we're making. DWTT, what is going on, my guy? Big up yourself. Big up my brother from an across the Atlantic mother. Good to see you as always. Kuwait Singh saying, glory, glory, Man United. We got Cristiano Skywalker. I think I did see Dill's Footy Ramble from TikTok in the chat as well. United fans very buoyant after today's display. And look, I can't lie, you look better. You look better. Liverpool did play a host of youngsters in the back line, but I think in spite of that, you got to beat who's in front of you. And I think I was impressed with what I saw today. Fred's finish, his right foot, lobbing Alisson. Oh, really finished with aplomb there. I can't lie, man. But yeah, just getting through some more of these comments. Savic, all right, the one touch is saying he's answering Mustafa's question. I agree. I think Milinkovic-Savic is the guy that impresses me the most. I would swap Paqueta and Tielemans around. I think Paqueta is slightly better than Tielemans, slightly more rounded, plays across the line a lot more, covers a bit more ground, a bit more energetic. He's just got that. He's that Latin American kind of spirit, you know, where you can take the boy out of the favela, but you can't take the favela out the boy. Do you get what I mean? You get what I mean by that? Like, you know, you look at Richarlison, you know, like as soon as he signs for Arsenal, he puts up that meme of him getting in Bellerin's face. You know, and I think Richarlison has shown that fighting spirit when he's played Arsenal a number of times. He's just a tricky opponent to come across, and I just think Paqueta offers that bit more of that tenacity, that competitive spirit, that bite. And I think we need a few more bastards, excuse my French, you know, like some no nonsense hatchetman. Like Paqueta is a skilled player, by the way. He's not just an attacking mid, you know, he's not just, you know, someone that flies in the tackle. He's very good on the ball. You know, I think, but as an attacking midfielder, I think he just gives you that bit more aggression, you know, that I think Arsenal's midfield needs a bit more. So one touch, it's all love, buddy. I would swap Tielemans and Paqueta around for that reason. But he's saying not on my list. We don't need that profile. I totally disagree for the reasons I outlined about Paqueta's profile. Yeah, he definitely offers grit and tenacity, as well as being good on the ball. He does play on the left side in the centre midfield, either as a 2 or in a 3. So, yeah, I'm not sure how you're not feeling his profile would fit in our team, but agree to disagree on that one. We've constantly been linked with Husamawa, haven't we? I don't think that link's ever going to go away. We'll see, man. I like him, Husamawa. You know, I think he can be very intricate in how he can help teams build up their play. Didn't have the greatest of last seasons, but I think you know, a lot of Lyon struggled last season. Finished 8th, but could be available at a cut price as a result. We could just put that one to bed. We were being quoted 50 million for him when we decided to buy Partey. So yeah, I would definitely take him. Kuwait Singh wants to know my opinion on Donny under Eric Ten Hag. Will he get playing time? You listen. You got to subscribe to the Man United agenda, my guy. Yeah, this isn't one of my TikToks. I'm here to speak about Arsenal and Arsenal's captaincy. I'll give you a brief summary. Under Ten Hag at Ajax, he played as the 8.5 in the central 3. So you would have 2 pivots here, as you did today with Fred and McTominay. And this guy wasn't quite positioned further forward as a 10. Yeah, but he was halfway between the starting, just further forward than those two, but not quite the 10. And that guy would make later rivals into the box. And that was the role that Donny van der Beek actually played a lot more at Ajax. Could be very effective in that role as he was at Ajax. But obviously Bruno, if you're bringing in Eriksen, these guys, you know, if you're bringing in De Jong, it's a bit congested. Can he play as one of the 8 pivots in that system? Don't know. Remains to be seen. But as I said, this is an Arsenal show. I'm here to talk about Arsenal's captaincy. Subscribe to the Man United agenda. Cool, Singh. Cool. I'll see if I can get the partner channels left in the comment section. But yeah, they will be. They're about to hit 2K subs, so they'll be able to give you the lowdown on everything Man United. But anyway, I want to hear people's thoughts, man. Arsenal's captaincy. We do agree we need DM cover too. And who would you go for? This is the thing though, like I feel like Paqueta and Tielemans, if we bring him in, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Torreira, and maybe even Xhaka might go. Could these guys come in and play a leading role, be prominent figures in either establishing themselves as leaders going forward, being part of a leadership committee of maybe 4 or 5 players, with maybe Ødegaard and Tierney being captain and vice captain because they've already been in the team, but these guys playing their way into taking more ownership as leaders. I want to hear your thoughts. But Brenny is saying him as captain. Tierney for you as captain. Agreed. You know, I think Tierney definitely he's amongst that mix, man. No doubt, man. Guna Gumza, club captain and leaders on the pitch are 2 different things. I understand the need to have captain on the pitch, but equally captain has more responsibility of the pitch to impose the correct culture. And that's a great point. And by the way, guys, you should know that Gumza is actually a coach, grassroots level, here in my old hometown. And this insight, very important. Let's speak this for this a little bit before we do rummage through the last of the comments and wrap up. But leaders on the pitch, you would have a number, you know, probably for me in each block, defensive block, midfield block, final third block. You'd have an established captain and a vice captain, but you would still very much have leaders in each of those areas, you know, kind of marshalling and directing players in each of their areas, but also connecting the areas, making sure that your defense, midfield, and attack are not working in silos, communicating across those areas to make sure that the transitioning and the movement on and off the ball is seamless. Very, very, very important. But your captain, you know, is connecting all of that together, but off the pitch is also very much responsible for transmitting the values, the ethos, the traditions of the football club, the heritage, the footballing heritage, as Jose Mourinho will call it, of your football club, making sure that all of the players understand these points to the latter, and everything that they do on and off the pitch resonates with and transmits and aligns with all of these values of the club and the culture. And fundamentally, what I believe is that part, that aspect of leadership has been broken for a very long time, since Henry left, in my opinion. A lot of players have come in and haven't quite understood what it is to be an Arsenal player, what it is to wear the cannons above your chest, you know, where we came from as a football club, Woolwich Arsenal, yeah, into North London, you know, our roots, you know, with the working class people of originally Woolwich, you know, when we were founded from a group of workers in the munitions factory in the Woolwich area. And I think I'm going to be in South London this weekend, so I think on Sunday I might visit there before we go, and maybe do a show from there, just to kind of go through the history of the club. For me, if a club wants to go somewhere, it has to know where the hell it came from. And what Gums is talking about here, with the captain having more responsibility, I think is excellent. Imposing that culture, for me, has to tie in to understanding where you came from. You know, like, it's kind of like family values, you know, like understanding your own family history, you know, like the traditions of your family, where that came from, so that in the future you're passing that down like a torch, you know, like the mantle. And I want to see that reconnection. I want to see that with the next captain, for sure. And that's why, you know, it's really important for me that we get this right. But yeah, I think Benassar, if he wants to come in, I would love him to come in as an Arsenal player. Obviously, this isn't a transfer show. But yeah, I mean, you know, like, he did come through the academy. Maybe that's something he could do. Establish himself as a leader in the future. But guys, look, I'm going to call it a day. I'm just going to get through these last couple of comments. Xhaka stays. We need party cover. I think Benassar for 25-30 million isn't bad business at all. I would love Kante in the role, though. I know we're looking at Kante. I've been seeing links intensify with him, and you know, maybe at his age, 31. I mean, everything that he's experienced and won with club and country, you know, he could definitely come in, you know, and bring in some leadership credentials. But guys, what I am going to do, I am going to wrap up this show and call it a day. What I will say, please hit the likes, subscribe. If you haven't already, we are trying to grow this channel. If you go to my Twitter as well, I can be found there, GunnerKing14. I've also put a 2-day poll up on suggestions on who Arsenal's next captain should be. Leave your answers there. If it's not one of the 3 that I've suggested, I think I am going to revisit this show later in the week. Also, yeah, the Armoury, follow us on Twitter as well as TikTok. Follow me, obviously, GunnerKing14, if you're not already doing so. Niger Englishman, I heard that you've touched down on TikTok now as well. So yeah, man, we're gonna have to speak about that later, man. Obviously, I'll get his addies as well. But yeah, guys, it's been great. Thank you everyone in the comment section that has you know, obviously chimed in with their comments today. Apologies, I couldn't get through to all of them. It's just me, myself, and I on my own today. And I promised you know, you know, I think I am going to do a few more shows like this solo, some pre-recorded ones as well. After the show as well, if you want to continue the conversation, leave some comments in the comment thread for the video itself. You know, obviously that helps boost the show's projection on the algorithm, but we'll continue the discussion in the comments there. It's not a problem. Anyone that follows me on TikTok knows that 80 to 90 to 100% of my comments I'm trying to respond to, yeah, because I'm trying to obviously interact with everyone. I love hearing people's thoughts. But today we are going to call it time. Let's see, man. I think we're very close to knowing who's going to be appointed next as Arsenal captain. And I'm looking forward to the news, man. Excited for next season. And hopefully, you know, we can push on and progress from where we finished off last season. Let's go. Come on, you Gunners. ATID, Arsenal until I die. Let's go.